All right, y'all, this is part 2. If you ain't seen part 1, make sure y'all click the link pinned at the top of the comment section to watch it. All right, so I'm like, so what are you? I'm talking to my cellmate. He's like, well, I'm a Muslim. Now, where I come from, I never seen no white Muslim. Either you was black or you was Arab, and sometimes you can be even a Mexican. So I said, who made you a Muslim? You ain't no motherfucking Muslim. He was like, no, I took my shahada and everything. I'm a Muslim. I said, okay, all right. So, I hit him with a couple things. I said, okay, if you a Muslim, what happens when you die? He was like, well, according to the Quran, if you are good, then, it'll be beautiful angels coming to take your soul. But if you're a bad person, then, these demons will come to take your soul, and your soul will be so terrified, it'll be hiding in the body, and they'll be forcing your soul to come out. I said, okay. I said, what happens in the grave? He was like, well, in the grave, if you are a good Muslim, then your grave will be big. It'll be space. It'll be a lot of space in there, and you will smell good things in there. But if you are a bad one, it's very small, and your sinful body will be outside of your body rotting, and you can smell it, and you'll just be in there being tortured. And then he said, matter of fact, there's going to be 2 angels that's going to come to you, and they're going to ask you 3 questions. Who is your Lord and Savior? Well, who is your God? Who is your prophet? And are you Muslim or Christian? And I said, okay. So I said, okay, I see you. You're a Muslim. Okay, I see. He said, so what are you? I said, well, I guess you could say I'm a Christian, but I don't really like that title. But if I have to say it, I guess I'm a Christian. And he said, well, we like the same thing. I said, no, we're not. I said, this is the thing. This is the thing about the difference between Muslims and Christians. There's a lot of differences, right? But the main thing is that the Muslims believe that Jesus was a great prophet. And the Christians believe, like I believe, that Jesus is the Son of God. The Muslims is trying to take away his divinity, his godhood from him, right? And that's the biggest thing, because the Bible tells us that Jesus is the only way to the Father, right? The only way. So, and when you look at it, I told him, I said, it ain't nowhere it could be this way. No, the Bible tells us, which came out before the Quran, right? It says that Jesus is the only way. And matter of fact, I said, if you look at it like this too, Jesus said that if a man or angel come with a different gospel of what you heard from me today, let him be accursed, right? Let him be accursed. So then, when you fast forward to 400-500 years later, when Muhammad was in the cave, and this so-called angel Gabriel would come to him and give him the Quran, what did y'all forget what Jesus said? He said, if any man or angel come with a different gospel, and believe me, the Quran is a whole different gospel, right? So, I mean, that right there, what are the proofs that you need from there? And then I said, think about when the so-called angel Gabriel came to Muhammad. He was beating the mess out of him, beating the dog crap out of him, right? Attacking him. And what angel in the Bible has done that to a prophet? Think about it. Yeah, sometimes when the angels show themselves to a prophet, they'll be scared, and they say, hold on, be gentle. I got you. I'm from the angel of the Lord. And they give you peace. But the angel Gabriel that came to Muhammad was a whole different ball game. Now, don't think that I don't believe that Muhammad exists. Oh, I believe he did. And do I believe the angel Gabriel came to him? I don't believe it was the angel Gabriel. I believe it was something else. Right? But, you know, he said, well, yeah, you got a point. I'm going to have to look more into that. I said, yo, don't take my word for it. Look it up. Right? So he said, okay, cool. So he was like, man, like, what you into, man? Do you smoke? You drink? I said, no, I don't. Then I, you know, I felt bad, y'all, because I don't. If y'all haven't watched part 1 of this story, y'all ain't gonna understand what I'm about to say or why I said it. I said, look, man, I kind of feel bad for coming at you the way I did. You know, when I first came in the cell and I told you get at the top, you know, I just had to, you know, figure you out and, you know, see what was what with you. He was like, oh no, man, I understand, man. I've been in here for 30 years, man. I've been here for 30 years, and you know, I just, hey, life is life. If when life give you lemons, you get lemonades, man. I said, oh, okay, all right, bet, right? So he said, all right, well, it's time to go. It's dinner time. So I said, all right, bet. I said, what we having today? He was like, I think we having some goulash and corn, and you know, it's decent. It ain't too bad. I said, all right. So as we walking out, Big Thomas come out of nowhere. Hey, what up, my boy D-Tay? What up? Listen, y'all, this not my boy. This ain't my homie. I met this dude on the bus coming up here, and like I said, I don't rock with this dude for what he told me that he was doing and how he got put in prison. Now, for those that might want to be lazy and not go click on part 1 after this video end to get the history of Big Thomas and why he got locked up and why I don't deal with him at all, y'all just gonna have to go watch it, man. So anyway, I'm like, I look at him, I'm like, what's up, man? He was like, shoot, man, hey, man, this is easy, man. This easy. So my bunkie kept walking. So Big Thomas was like, hey, who that? Who, you know that guy? I said, yeah, that's my bunkie. He was like, man, that dude got a fat A. When he said that, y'all, now at this time, y'all, I've been locked up for about 4 years now. About 5 years, about 5. And when he said that, I'm like, what? Man, what did he just say? And then he said it again. He said, man, dude got a fat A. I said, hey, you gay, dog? He was like, no, man, heck no, why would you say that? I said, did you just say this dude got a fat A? He was like, yeah, but I was just playing, though. I was just playing, bro. Right, and then he walked off. So this one thing about me, y'all. If something's bothering me, I have to address it. And what was bothering me was like, yo, I don't rock with you. I don't want nobody thinking we friends, homies, homeboys, none of that. I don't want people seeing us talk and me and they, you know, associating you with me or associating you with me. No, that's out. So I jogged up on him. I said, hey, partner, let me holler at you right quick. He was like, what's up? I said, check this out, man. I don't F with you, homeboy. He was like, wait, hold on, what's going on? I said, hold on, man. Let me get this off. Let me tell you something. Your kind and my kind don't mix. Whatever you into is what you into. That's you. I'm programming a certain way, you programming a certain way, and on some real dog, I don't want to fuck with you, and I don't want to have nothing to do with you, homeboy. He like, what's up? I mean, what happened? What's going on? I said, ain't nothing going on. I said, you know what? That you got locked up for, that's what's going on. He was like, man, that was so long ago, man. I ain't like. I said, no, dog, I said, no, I don't like the way you move. I don't like the way you carry yourself. You do you, I'ma do me. You know, just stay over there. I'm gonna stay over here. So he was like, well, all right, man, all right, whatever, man. But man, whatever. And he just walked off. Y'all, I had to do that. I had to do that. I had to establish that line because I didn't want this dude thinking that me and him was homeboys and me and him was just like he can just walk up to me on the yard or in the kitchen or somewhere and try to kick it with me. No. This that you got locked up for, the stuff that you was involved with, nah. And then what you just said came out. I'm not finna be hanging around no dude talking about, man, this dude got a fat A. That ain't even how I talk. I don't even want nobody around me talking like that, right? So, boom, right? So, we get up in there, right? My bunkie is already like at the top of the line. I'm like towards the middle, and Big Thomas maybe like 6 people in front of me, right? And y'all gotta understand, Big Thomas is a big dude. And like I said, I'm a big guy too. Like I said, I'm 6'2". At that time, I was about 250, 260, right? But Big Thomas was like 6'9", maybe a good 320, 340, right? Dude could have been in the NFL as a linebacker, a lineman or something, right? Big dude. But he was so loose. Y'all ever seen a dude that's always like moving his hips and like moving around all wild and crazy? He was just too loose. Right? Just loud, talking loud, and you know what I'm saying? He just trying to just want to be seen, want to be heard, right? So I'm like, yeah, just in the line, just talking loud, man. Yeah, see the block, Pyru, and just saying like that. I'm like, oh, so I know y'all wonder, like, Donta, why did you just say see the block, Pyru? But if y'all click on the link after this video go off, y'all will understand why. Right? Because Big Thomas, when I met him on a bus ride, he told me he was Cedar Block Pyru and he was from Cali. Right? So that's why I said that, right? So he keeps saying Cedar Block Pyru and all this and that, right? So I'm like, yeah, this dude a trip. So I see him and he sit in front of my bunkie, right? And they talking, so I'm like, man, I ain't finna eat. So I go to another table, right? I eat, get done, get out, leave, right? Go hit the yard, right? I see a couple of my partners from my old prison, my early stint, right? And you know, we chopping up, we kicking in or whatever. They giving me the rundown, the politics and all that, right? So then Big Thomas hit the yard, right? And I see my bunkie run up on them and they talking, they walk in the yard. So I tell one of my homeboys, like, yeah, that's my bunkie right here, white Muslim. They was like, oh yeah, we know, dude. They're like, yo, what's up with that dude that's with him though? Who that? I said, man, that dude, I guess his name Thomas or whatever, and he from Cali. Now I ain't put his business out there, y'all, because I'm not the one to gossip. You know what understand? I wasn't going to put out what he told me. I should have in hindsight, but, you know, I'm not that type of dude. You know what I'm saying? But, and I know some of y'all wonder, like, well, Donta, what did he do? This ain't what this story is about, y'all. This, if y'all want to know what he did, y'all got to watch part 1, which is pinned at the top of the comment section. But I'm like, okay, look, check this out. I said, look, I ain't rocking with dude. You know, me and dude, I said, yeah, he alright, but you know, he ain't my cup of tea. They're like, oh, okay. So they telling me, I'm like, so what's up with my bunkie? Like, what y'all know about him? They like, he cool. You know, when he first got in here, you know, he was going through it. You know, he was a part of a white gang, believe it or not, but you know, he was soft. Everybody know he joined the gang or whatever for protection, but you know, they tried to have him go on a crash dummy mission, and you know, he refused to do it, so he got put in lockup or whatever. When he came out, I guess the gang wanted to get at him, and you know, the Muslims here, they accept everybody. I said, oh, okay, so he started being Muslim, but it's like he really been on. He been on this deen. I said, okay. So I'm like, so let me ask y'all a question. What do y'all do? how do y'all, what's the politics with dudes that, get down? So they're like, well, what you mean get down? I was like, you know what I'm talking about, like, get down. So my homeboy, like, clipped his nose. I said, no, not that, man, not getting high. I'm talking about, the homosexuals. It was like, oh, man, we get them off the yard. No, hey, no, they get off the yard, man. That ain't going on here. Nah, not here. Nah, they can't walk this yard. Hell no. I said, okay. The reason why I asked them that, y'all, because Big Thomas really gave me them vibes. And I was just wondering, like, yo, how do they treat them type of people, whatever. So they were like, no, man, them type of dudes they can't walk this yard, man, at all. So I'm like, all right, bet. So now, the second yard, because remember, y'all, we just got here, right? I just got put in this block. This all happened in one day, right? So you got 2 yard cars, the one in the morning and then the one in the afternoon after dinner, right? So we all going back to the block, whatever. We're in the cell. So dude, like, hey, can I talk to you right quick? I'm like, what's up? He said, you know that guy Thomas? I said, yeah, what about him? It was like, man, that dude is really strange, man. I'm like, well, what you mean? It was like, he like, I don't know, man. He like a child. Like, he childlike. Like, this dude kept trying to, like, tickle me and shit on the yard, and, just kept putting his hand on my shoulder and shit like that, and like I was like his friend or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? I said, well, what you mean he was tickling you? Because that's what I zoomed in. He was like, yeah, we was just, walking the yard, and, I was talking about Islam, and, he act like he was paying attention, but then he just bust out and said, tickle, tickle, tickle. And I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing? And, he put his hand on my shoulder, and I just felt real uncomfortable. Like what's up with dude? I said, hey, look, I don't know him like that, but I'm gonna tell you, I rode the bus with him coming up here, and for my understanding, dude ain't right. Like, this dude mind is not right. It's really fucked up. And matter of fact, he said something about you when we was on our way to Chow. And he was like, what'd he say? I said, man, this dude, he basically said, who was that with that fat A? He said, wait, come again? What'd he say? I said, he said verbatim, man, who the F is that with that fat AZZ? He was like, yo, man, that dude is bugged out, man. He said that. I said, yeah. He was like, man, you think he? I said, man, I don't know, but I mean, he said, man, we were sitting together at the lunch table, and, he was sitting in front of me, and he kept like kicking me, but like trying to play footsies or something. I said, what? He was like, yeah, man, this dude was trying to play like footsies with me or something. I was like, well, why you ain't kicking him back? He said, I did, but he was like, my bad. He kept like joking, like laughing, like giggling, like he was Mr. Giggles or something. I said, yeah, man, hey, let's stay away from that dude, man, because dude ain't wrapped too tight, man. And I went in the spiel and told him, Big Thomas' background and what he told me and what he got locked up for, and my opinions about that, whatever. He was like, yeah, no, dude is weird. Dude a freak or whatever. So we gonna fast forward to about a month later. Every day, Big Thomas kept coming around, dude. Every day he kept coming up to him, playing with him, trying to tickle him. Dude telling him like, yo, man, chill out, man. Hey, like, dog, don't play with me like that, man. But Big Thomas was just ignoring him. Like, he was just missing what he was saying. What I'm about to tell y'all next is what this whole story is about. But before we get into that, I need for people that never been locked up before and might find yourselves going to prison for whatever reason, listen to me. If a man is over friendly, right? Always trying to treat you like y'all been the best buddies for years, and you don't know this man, and he trying to offer you things, and he telling people like you his homeboy, like y'all just the best of friends. Understand that is a tactic. This man don't give a dang about you. This dude he's claiming you. He putting this mark. You know, like how dogs go piss on trees and grass and stuff. That's what he's doing. He gonna try to feed you, give you things or whatever, and try to guilt trip you. And when he try to make his move. And this is what happened, y'all. So like I said, about a whole month went by, and Big Thomas, and how I know this was going on, because this is my bunkie. My bunkie is telling me everything this dude is doing, right? And I've been telling him like, hey man, you gonna have to check that, man. Stop letting shit slide, man. It's just gonna get worse and worse. So one day he came to me, right? Friday, stow day. My bunkie came to me, he was like, hey man, Donta, I can't take this no more, man. I don't really want to take this to the brothers or whatever, you know, the Muslim brothers, because I really don't want to take it to them, because I'm not 100% sure but if this dude really like that or not. But this dude keep pressing me, man, and he keeps saying he playing, but I don't play gay games, man. I don't play like that. I said, well man, you gonna have to do something, man. You gonna have to put hands on him. He said, I know, but man, that dude too big. I said, wait, I don't know what to tell you, man. You have to do something. You let this go on for too long, right? He was like, yeah, I know, man. He was like, man, another thing, like every time I go to the damn shower, some way, somehow, this dude just end up finding his way in there. Like the first couple times it happened, I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe this is coincidence, but no, man, this dude, every time I go to the shop, like this dude is waiting, and he'd just wait, and then when he see me go, he'll run and go grab his towel and then shoot to the shower. And I'll be like, yo, dog, like, and then one time I was in here, I've got soap in my eyes, and this motherfucker said, you missed something. I just hear the nigga voice, and when I like peeked out my eyes, this motherfucker standing right next to me. It ain't nobody else in these stores. I said, what? He was like, yeah. I said, man, come on, man. You gonna have to, I don't know, man. Tell your brothers. He was like, man, I just don't want to start. I said, man, listen, I know dudes just like that, man. He just playing that game. So he was like, all right, man, I'm gonna do something about it. I said, all right. 5 o'clock, y'all. This right after chow time. We on the yard, right? One of my blood homies come up to me. He like, hey, man, your bunkie, they take him to the hospital. I said, what happened? Right now I'm moving fast, going back and see what's going on. I'm trying to make sure, the cell's straight, right? Because I had some things in there that, you know what I'm talking about. I said, what happened? He was like, that nigga Thomas. I said, what about him? He was like, hey, he got him in the shower. Now, when he first said he got him in the shower, knowing what me and my bunkie talked about, I'm thinking like, okay, maybe Thomas done went in the shower on him again, and my bunkie done pulled out that sword of justice and start hitting him up with it. But never in a million years would I would have thought that when he said that he got off on him, that Big Thomas actually got off on him. So what was told to me is that my bunkie went in the shower, washing up. Big Thomas came in there, told him like, yo, I'm tired of playing with you. And from there, a fight ensued. Dude got knocked out. My bunkie got knocked out. And Big Thomas went up in him. And when he went up in him, you know, some dudes came in there and ran back out and reported it. Guards came in there, whipped Big Thomas out, took Big Thomas to the hole, took my bunkie to the infirmary. Right? So we get to the block or whatever, and my blood homie like, yeah, man, that's fucked up. So he's telling me what happened or whatever, you know, through the grapevine from other inmates or whatever. So I get in the cell, right? And then it's about 10 Muslims pull up on me. They like, Salam alaikum. I'm like, Salaikum salam. They like, what happened? What was? I'm like, I basically told them the story what was just told to me. And it was like, no, not one of our own. No, Hannah, we gonna handle that. We gonna handle that. Where we was at, y'all, was a level 4, right? After this level 4, what Big Thomas did, he's going to a level 5, and where he's going is single man cells, 23-1. Ain't no yard, right? They got yards, but you in cages when you go out. Ain't no way they was gonna get at Big Thomas for what he did to one of their brothers, right? Let me tell y'all something real quick, okay? I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. Prison is a very, very dangerous place. Again, there's many ways that these predators prey on people. But like I said, you have to have street smarts. And I know everybody ain't got street smarts, but if a dude is acting over friendly and offering you things and trying to be your buddy and all this and that, understand he wants something. It ain't nothing in prison for free. Now, you might got homeboys in there that might look out for you, but even with that, man, if y'all haven't signed up for the Patreon, make sure y'all sign up for the Patreon. The Patreon is pinned at the top of the comment section. The content that's on there is the content that I can't put on YouTube, okay? That's the prison stories that I can't put on there. Then the part 2s, part 3s that I put out there for the people that own a Patreon to see it before it come on YouTube. I got my skits, my horror films, my Bible stories, all that is over there. All right, so y'all make sure y'all go check it out. It will be pinned at the top of the comment section. In part 1 will be pinned at the top of the comment section too. With that, y'all be safe. And with that, I'm out.